first episode of PWO's Creative Control. I'm your host, Patrick Lilly. With me tonight, the original host of PWO WrestleCast, Matt Lilly.
Hey.
And PWO's own referee, Cod Sinclair.
Yeah, that's
taking
right.
time off from his own show, Referee's Discretion. Thank you guys for joining me tonight.
Our pleasure.
Tonight, we are going to start this creative control journey by booking the New Japan G1, which will then take us through Wrestle Kingdom. And once we get there, we're going to give you a little twist to finish the show on. Creative Control is a new show here at PWO where we fantasy book all the major bookings from all the major wrestling industries. We are excited to get going on this project. Guys, you have anything to say before we get going here?
You want to go first?
1, 2, 3, 4. We got to keep going.
I was going to say plug referee's discretion in WrestleCast, but I guess that's kind of assumed.
True.
You guys know where to find us right here on YouTube, also on our Facebook. All of your favorite music, Apple Podcasts, all of those wonderful things, referee's discretion. And now joining us, Creative Control.
Yeah, we're really excited about this project, guys. So tonight we're going to be talking about the G1 as we discussed on WrestleCast on the 14th of September. We had our actual picks go in, so go back and look at that if you're interested in our actual picks. But tonight we're getting creative. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fantasy booking, and it's going to get crazy. To give you a reminder, Matt, do you want to break down our blocks here on the board?
Sure. So right over here in Block A, we have Jay White, Yujiro Takahashi, Kota Ibushi, Jeff Cobb, Kazuchika Okada, Tomohiro Ishii, Will Ospreay, Shingo Takagi, Minoru Suzuki, and Taichi. And
Todd, do you want to give us Block
Oh,
B?
I do. That was a great decision. We have Sonata. We have CJ Parker. Oh, sorry. We have Juice Robinson. We have Goto. We have Yano. We have Yoshihashi. We have Tetsuya Naito, Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta, Evil, and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
go Ace.
Go Ace, go.
So H.
And Naito's champ, right?
Naito is currently both your heavyweight and intercontinental champion. We also have the never openweight champion, Minoru Suzuki, in Block A. So we're going to get right into the fantasy booking. Block A. Coming out of Block A is going to be our never openweight champion, Minoru Suzuki. And in the finals, he is going to be matched up with Kenta off a barn burner with Naito to get into the final. Kenta coming off a big G1 tournament, all the momentum in the world, but he is not going to get past the Lonely Warrior. Minoru Suzuki wins your G1 Climax, and he is off to Wrestle Kingdom to wrestle Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and the Intercontinental Championship. All right, so fast forward to Wrestle Kingdom, January. It hits. Here we go. We have the main event, and Minoru Suzuki is going to defeat Naito for all the titles. All 3 titles are going to be up, and he is going to come out. Now our IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, our Intercontinental Champion, and our never openweight champion.
All the gold, okay.
All the gold, Minoru Suzuki. What do you guys think of that?
Ryan, you want to go first or you want me to?
I love it. If this is going to be your last ride, then he's going out in a blaze of glory. Interesting to see where this goes there, Mr. Creative Control.
Man, yeah, I do agree. I don't know how much longer Minoru Suzuki has in ring. I mean, is he 53?
He is 53 years old currently.
But
his in ring style though, he still moves way younger than his actual age is.
oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. My one immediate thought is, man, you have all three of those titles in one match for Wrestle Kingdom. Man, there's gonna be some trouble booking that whole thing for 2 nights. I think without those titles.
Something else to think about for Wrestle Kingdom. You still have John. We used to have Moxley as the U.S. champion. You're gonna have all of your tag gold on the line, whether night 1 or night 2. You're gonna get a high level match. You're probably gonna get like an Okada versus like an Ibushi, something in that world. So,
and we have to flush out Bullet Club. At some point, we're going to have some tension at the top.
mm-hmm.
You've got 4 guys that are capable leaders between Kenta, Jay White, Tama Tonga, and Evil. So at some point, you've got to flesh that out, and that doesn't really mean any titles. So that can also be a major storyline going into Wrestle Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
But that is conversation for another night. So, fallout from Wrestle Kingdom. It's funny that we talk about. I heard from both of you guys mention kind of a last ride for Minoru Suzuki, because part 2 of our creative control is the Lonely Warrior walks away. And he comes out and he cuts a final promo about having done everything that he needs to do in New Japan. He's retiring, and he relinquishes all 3 title belts.
A lot of things just made sense now. Okay.
All right.
So, New Japan has a huge, huge issue to figure out how they're going to put all the belts back on somebody. Any ideas, gentlemen? Any suggestions? Any thoughts so far?
I like it. Man, once again, so many titles just vacant now.
Well, what do you think? Any ideas as to how we could solve this problem?
New Japan's really good at just tournaments and blocks. So I would say that.
So then New Japan Cup is March, so we got to go through a new beginning. Do we hold out for New Japan Cup, or do we build throughout?
I love where your head is at, because the New Japan Cup, which we had just recently thanks to COVID, however, is normally scheduled for March. The New Japan Cup, instead of a 32-man bracket, we are going to have 3 8-man tournaments to decide each championship belt. Now, as we are going to go forward, we're going to break down each 8-man bracket and crown a new champion, starting with the never openweight world championship, which was booked by our very own Matt Lilly.
So our never openweight tournament leading out of the New Japan Cup, we have 8 men. We have Sho, Yuji Nagata, Taguchi, Go-Ace Hiroshi Tanahashi, which I'm already ready for the backlash that he's not taken in the IC or heavyweight title, but I think this is a great spot for him here. We have Dave Finlay, Taichi, Master Wato, and Hiroki Goto. Our first round matches it's going to be Dave Finlay versus Taichi, with Taichi going over. Taguchi versus Go-Ace Tanahashi. I have Tana winning there. We have Sho versus Yuji Nagata, with Yuji Nagata winning. I'm already bracing for our Sho fans on the page. Mm-hmm. And, of course, Goto is going to beat Master Wato. I think it's time. Master Wato gets a little bit of love here, but Goto is the guy.
He gets love being in the tournament.
So now reset your bracket into the semis. We have 2 semifinal matches.
Our 2 semifinal matches are Taichi versus Go-Ace Tanahashi. and we have Yuji Nagata versus Goto. I have Go Ace beating Taichi. Taichi has been focusing a lot in his tag teams here. And I think, once again, if we're really trying to push this never openweight champion as a top guy immediately in the company, having Tanahashi in the final is important. Next up here, I have Goto beating Yuji Nagata. And I'm really wanting to see we already have a very aggressive Hiroki Goto, but I really want to emphasize he just beat Sho, who's considered a future in the company. He just beat Yuji Nagata, one of the past just top guys in the business. And now in your finals, it is Go Ace and Hiroki Goto. And I think if we want to make a new star, as much as he's not really a new star, Goto has been the guy in New Japan for so long now. And I think it's time that he really got a major push. But for some reason, it's always the never open weight title. Goto is going to demolish Tanahashi. We're going to see a mean streak, and we're going to see some original bad guy chaos here. Hiroki Goto is your new never open weight champion.
Really, really like using Go Ace to get Goto over.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's obviously a great selection to carry the belt.
Thank you.
I like that we were able to get Yuji Nagata in there.
Yeah, especially since he wasn't in the G1 New Japan.
Yeah, but yet you have time for him to be in the New Japan Cup. Show the man some love, you know?
That's all I'm saying. But that's your open weight title. I think we get a great match between Tanahashi and Goto as well.
No, that's great. I like that.
Yeah. And now we are going to our very own referee, Cod Sinclair, who booked the IC tournament.
Well, I guess I will go through my 8 participants, and then I'll just start matching them out there. I have the Tokyo Pimp. Shout out to Logan. Yujiro Takahashi. I have Hiromu Takahashi. I have Sanada, Bushi, Zack Sabre Jr., Tomohiro Ishii, Jay White, and Jeff Cobb, who just recently signed a new contract with New Japan.
You just had to include Zack Sabre Jr.?
I did, because as much as everyone hates him, I think he is a great first-round loss. So.
Oh, all right. All right, I'm in. Let's go.
First match, I have Hiromu going over Yujiro. A closer contest than I think many people will think. I have Jeff Cobb going over Bushi. I have Tomohiro Ishii absolutely destroying Zack Sabre Jr.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted.
And then in the match of the first round, I have Jay White going over Sanada. That could be the main event of night one, or however it's decided to be booked. But I think that if you're putting butts in seats and you're trying to establish, like Matt did with the Never Openweight Championship, you're trying to develop stars and you're trying to, create a new path for titles. I think this is great for Jay White. Some people would call him the poor man's Kenny Omega. That is not a bad thing. That is well, that's why he's not in yours. So
you're right.
I just gotta say, you're really gonna put Jeff in this situation of choosing between Sanada and Jay White.
I am. Yeah. Shout out to Jeff the Hitman Hall. No, I think that has the potential, to be one of the better matches of that weekend, aside from that loaded tournament back there. But anyway, so in the semifinals, I have Hiromu versus Jeff Cobb and Ishii versus Jay White. So I'm gonna put Hiromu over Jeff Cobb. Yeah. I know Jeff Cobb just re-signed. It's gonna be a 25-minute match. Both men come out looking really strong. Again, back to what Matt said. We're trying to put the prestige back into these titles with all of the titles being vacated. I think you putting Hiromu in a championship match right away brings immediate prestige to not just the match, but if he wins, back to the title. And then the other semifinal match that I have Jay White going over Ishii with a little bit of help from Bullet Club. Yeah. So beat Sonata in the first round, then beat Ishii. Then it all comes crashing down because your new Intercontinental Champion market is going to be Hiromu Takahashi, and you can count it out.
That's big time. Takahashi going over big time. I was slightly surprised you had him going over Jay White. I thought that was going to be a big Bullet Club moment.
Yeah.
The subplot of all of this is that maybe the Bullet Club is losing some steam and maybe some change is going to have to come.
Yeah, that was my mindset in booking all of that because, like you said, we have 4 top guys that could be the leader of Bullet Club. And I feel like this is a way, if you have Bullet Club help out in the semifinal match, but then he ultimately loses his own opportunity in the finals, that could be an easy way to kick him out of Bullet Club.
Ooh. Where would he go?
It's a great question.
That's
for another episode, I think.
Bullet Club might be a creative control we have to invest in. All right, so finally we are at the IWGP World Heavyweight Tournament. This thing is a who's who of world champion level competitors. So we're going to go down the bracket. At the top of the bracket, our first match is Naito versus Tama Tonga. The other quarterfinal, Kota Ibushi versus Evil. Then in the bottom bracket, you have Shingo Takagi versus Will Ospreay. And then in the bottom part of the bracket, you have Kenta versus Okada.
So immediately, I gotta say, I love the rematch of Ospreay Shingo from Super Juniors.
Yeah.
Immediately in there. I thought that was a class match when it happened.
Absolutely.
I think having it there was awesome.
And that was not by accident. Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna go down the bracket. Naito eliminates Tama Tonga. Kota Ibushi eliminates Evil. Shingo gets Ospreay back and advances to the semifinals.
Love Shingo.
And in what is going to be an absolute barn burner, Okada gets the pinfall in the last minute before the time limit draw to advance to wrestle against Shingo Takagi in the semifinals.
Ooh, so you have time limit draw in yours.
Oh, yeah.
So if they were to draw, the next round would just be a bye.
Next round bye.
Wow.
The only match that doesn't have a time limit draw is the final.
So you have no members of Bullet Club in the next round.
No members of Bullet Club. That is a subplot.
Okada beat Kenta? Is that
Okada
what
beats Kenta in the last minute before the time limit draw. That match is going to tear the house down, and it's going to look like Bullet Club is going to get their win in the first round, and Okada's going to pull it out.
How about to say? Oh, Kenta's not in the G1, is he?
He is. He's a block B.
Okay, so him and Okada are also not in the same blocks as well.
Kenta also lost to Minoru Suzuki in this fantasy booking in the final.
What I was about to say was, didn't Kenta, when he made his debut with New Japan back in the last G1, didn't he beat Okada, or am I may be misremembering that? At the very least, I remember they had an awesome match.
Yeah, Kenta started off really strong, I believe.
Very strong.
But then kind of, pittered out towards the end.
Wow,
he was an All Japan. Looking great.
He was an All Japan guy.
So first final is Naito and Ibushi, which I don't care how many times you see this match, it's going to be stiff. Someone's going to get the hell beaten out of them. And again, Naito is going to come out on top here.
Ugh.
Death, taxes, and Naito over Ibushi.
Genuinely, my neck hurts just thinking about this.
Yeah.
In the other semifinal, we've got Shingo Takagi and Okada. And I know what you're thinking. The real ace is going to show up here. The real ace of New Japan, but you're wrong. Shingo Takagi gets Okada. He gets it done. Wins the semifinal match. And just as we were wondering what's going on with Bullet Club, now we have to wonder what's going on with Los Ingobernables.
Oh.
Because you got Naito and Shingo in the final. And you've already lost Evil this year. So we're not exactly in the best place. So superiority in the faction is up for grabs here, as well as the world title. So Naito's been the long-standing leader, and I'll say this: he is going to come out still the leader, because just as he's getting ready to finish off Shingo Takagi, Minoru Suzuki's music hits. The Minoru Suzuki distraction helps Shingo Takagi win the world title. And after the match, Suzuki crowns Takagi the new leader of Suzuki-kun.
So I was really in till you had the music distraction.
Same.
And my only thing with that is that that's so not New Japan.
And that's why it won't happen in real life.
That's why this is fantasy.
This is why it's fantasy.
Yeah.
But it's a coronation of Shingo Takagi, who is the best wrestler in New Japan right now. There it is.
Yeah.
That's the fantasy booking. And that is the Dragon becoming the top guy in New Japan, where he should be.
I also
Realistically, do we think it's too soon from him coming up from juniors to get the belt put on him?
No. In fact, I think I was making the argument that he was going to be in the finals of the G1 last year on the show. I really thought that, all right, so this is they're strapping the Rockets on him now. It's time. I also think them putting the never openweight title on him and not the junior heavyweight title on was a big portion of that as well. You never really cemented him as a junior. He was there for the Super Juniors, but now both of those guys in the finals have moved up with Ospreay as well. I think Shingo here is the right call. We don't want to keep going back to Naito, Okada. I guess some people are going to say we could have Jay White here at this point, but we really need new top guys in this company.
Here's the thing about Jay White. I hate Jay White. And this is my show. So Jay White was not ever going to be in the world title picture. And he never will be as long as I'm booking. Because there's a reason he is the mid-card Jay White.
I will respond to all of this by saying when WWE came through and copped up a lot of the New Japan guys, everybody thought that New Japan wasn't going to recover. They weren't going to have enough depth, whether it be in the main card or the mid card. And yet here we are, 2020. And loaded. I mean, look at the A block.
We easily could have had a 16-man tournament for the world title.
Yeah.
And just for the sake of the fun and craziness, we booked it this way. But honestly, there's no reason the New Japan Cup couldn't be for the vacant world title and be a 32-man tournament.
Mm-hmm.
There really is that kind of star power. There's definitely enough young guys to fill in that 17 through 32 spots to lose in the first round, to take a L and look good. New Japan is just the pinnacle of pro wrestling right now. This obviously is a fun experiment that we're doing. We enjoy fantasy booking. We love talking about some of our favorite wrestlers and enjoy putting our opinions out there because we just like to talk wrestling. But man, they really have done no wrong from a booking standpoint, in my opinion, the last 2.5, 3 years, and very little things you could really complain about.
I have one, and this is my one thing, and I think this is what we collectively got right here is that I feel like we've gotten a lot of the same people in the same spots, and we need some form of shakeup.
Agreed.
And I think that would go a long way for New Japan here.
My only in defense of New Japan with that is that I don't think they really believed AEW was going to be a thing.
I think that's fair.
And I mean, I think they really still had all their, eggs in the Kenny Omega basket. He obviously did not get the world title run in New Japan that he deserved because, they knew he was going. And not only did they get Kenny Omega, who was probably the biggest star in New Japan, certainly the biggest star in New Japan, maybe other than Okada, but then you have to consider how many young talents that maybe would be in New Japan if not for AEW. A Jungle Boy, Jericho was doing New Japan, who probably would have had Sammy Guevara over there. There's a lot of young talent that could be cutting their teeth overseas, but instead they're in AEW.
That's fair.
Which is excellent.
Yeah, all wrestling is good wrestling. Having AEW and New Japan is a great thing. That's not a problem. But, it's really good. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Cod Sinclair, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube. Referee's discretion. September's a little hectic. October, we get back on schedule. 1 episode every week. Find me Twitter and Instagram, both at PWO Ryan. You can also find me Mondays on PWO WrestleCast with this guy.
That's a great little segue right over here, if you don't mind. You can find us right here on YouTube and Facebook for our WrestleCast every Monday and Thursday. Mondays at 7:30, Thursdays at 8.
Monday's show going to be an hour and a half starting next month of WrestleCast.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for joining the first episode of Creative Control. If you have anything you want us to book, please put it down in the comments. Otherwise, check us out next month for our next show. Maybe it's going to be Bullet Club. With that, we're going to say too sweet good night.
Bye.